Hey everyone, I'm Isaac Maring. I am a business owner in the landscaping lawn maintenance industry, and I am growing this business currently, but I have always been an entrepreneur and interested in business and everything that has to do with it. And in today's video, I really just wanted to talk about something that's a little bit more not directed on business, but something that's actually very important to anybody's success in their career, especially if you're someone who wants to go big, wants to be a big business owner, entrepreneur. You want to get really good at what you do. This is very important. It's going to be more about relationships. And this has been a study that I want to share with you that I've been working on for a while. It's still like a work in progress, but it's something I have just looked at very deeply into my experiences, other people's experiences, other people's thoughts, just my knowledge from other people as well. And today I want to share with you how you can really determine who's good as a life partner for you, or even just who's good in your circle, who can be around you that is really going to help you to the highest degree. And this is the most important because, like they say, the 5 people you spend around is the 5 people that, or the average of the 5 people you spend time around is who you become. And now there is a little bit of mixed opinions about it, because I also think that you can also control what you become, besides the fact that those other people are around you, or you may have to spend time with them, because you can be in a different focus, but they do have a lot of influence on you. And if you actually wanted real connections with people, this is very important. So I just want to share up front. So this is kind of my list here. So if you ever wanted a life partner, you're trying to wonder, what do I actually need to look for? What do I need to, what would actually fit with me long term? And these are it. These are the 4 pillars that are going to make it so, with what I've seen, almost without a doubt, failure. I think, effort plays a big one, but you need effort in anything. And that comes, the bottom, you have the most dense, heaviest thing is goals. And that is at the bottom because it's what starts to build that foundation. And what you need for a strong relationship is a really strong foundation to build on top of. Because if you build on top of something, say I got a popsicle stick and I try to build my entire house that's going to hold thousands and thousands of pounds on a popsicle stick, it's not going to work. It's going to break. It's going to fail. And so the goals is like the rock. It's the one where you both have to be focused on the same path. You have to be shooting for the same or similar targets. You have to want to shoot for creating something, because you might not be anything right now. And that's the great part about a journey, and that's the great part about life, is you're never going to be maybe where you want to be. You're never going to be living exactly where you can grow to. So goals is a very good way to align and figure out how you both can be working towards it. And that's why I put it at the bottom. And the next one would be values. And values is kind of a mix of goals and values, because I also think maybe if you had different goals but similar values, you could probably easily have them within your life. You guys just might be working on two different things, separated, going 2 different directions. And so that's why I also struggle, because I think values should maybe be at the bottom, but it's also one where it's like, if you guys have goals, it tends to be an easier one to go forward. So I might end up changing that. This is also like, I think it's always going to be a work in progress to figure out. And I'm not married. I'm not in a long-term relationship. Like, I'm not experienced. I'm 20 years old, and this is how I've been able to come about, just past experiences, my personal ones, other people's, and others people's thoughts, and other people's like older marriages, and how they've been able to be successful and happy and be able to work together. These are things that I've learned from them. So I think values, it's right in there with goals. But first, you want to make sure you guys are kind of going in the same direction. Then you want to make sure you're aligned morally. You don't want to have similar values. You want to value For example, like honesty, integrity. You want to value open communication. You want to value giving. You want to value being authentic. You want to value like something that is so ingrained into you. And these are also created throughout your whole childhood. Like you end up pretty much having ingrained values as you are hitting that like 20-year-old mark. And this is important for business owners and for just having a relationship, because if you're trying to grow a business, you need to find people that have similar values. Otherwise, if you're not aligned, you might find people that will be destroying your company. And not only will they be destroying your company, imagine trying to pick a partner that is not aligned in values and you're sleeping with them, right? Like they're in your bed. You're hanging around them. They're the one person you go home to, and they're not aligned in your value system. There's always going to be a weak link. There's something that's going to break because you value something they don't, and they don't see why maybe this value matters, and it could be completely opposite values. And you're never going to change that. That's something you can never really fix. You can't fix a value. It is just what it is. That's what you value. And trying to change it, trying to hide it and ghost it will only end up breaking in the long term anyways. You could probably do a very good job about just delaying stuff, but you're just going to have issues that keep repeating, that come back to the same thing, and that happens to be your values. So you got to make sure you have your goals and values very aligned. And those are the first two things that anybody should be really doing when they're looking for somebody, when they're actually looking for people to add into their life that are going to be aligned, that will not fail, that you want to be committed to. You have to only look at goals and values, because the next two are very wishy-washy. These are things that can change. These are things that can also be worked on. These are things that are more of what you enjoy, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel better, and kind of like the shiny object. It's something that is more of the luxury end of things versus the raw truth. And that comes, next is your lifestyle. It's like, well, you guys can be aligned goals, aligned values, but if one of you wants to live a completely different life, say, just for example, somebody wants to live completely remote and not around people, not even close to a city, in the cold, but then you have the other person that loves just going out into the city. They love warm weather. They will never be in the cold. They want to travel all around, whereas the other one that's I'm not saying this is every case, but the one that's out in the middle of nowhere and never wants to leave their home, they are going to clash, because one's going to want to go out and about and live different places or travel around, while one's just never going to enjoy that. One just wants to be a homebody. One just enjoys its own land and wants to live off the land and wants to just stay there. They don't care about doing the other things. And there's a lot of things that can go into lifestyle too. It's like, do you want like a very just dumbed down simple lifestyle? Do you want just a traditional family? What do you want that's included in your lifestyle? And having these aligned and having you guys being able to live around each other and do things together just builds that relationship even more, so that not only you guys align goals and values, you guys can also enjoy each other's presence. You guys can also go and enjoy a journey. You guys can enjoy the entertainment that you feel within your life. And then the top one of this, and this is the lightest one, this is why it's at the top. It's like a balloon. Think of it as each one of these as almost of like a balloon. So this is like a heart Valentine's Day balloon at the top, and that's attraction. And attraction is something that most of the time we look at firsthand. We try to look at who looks good, and then we go talk to them. We see that shiny thing, and then we go after it. And everybody does this. It's what our eyes see. We all get excited about something. There's just something that attracts us. We want to go towards it, right? We want that. We think we just want it all, and the attraction might be the only thing that we could always look at, and then nothing else would matter. But as time goes on, the truth always kills, and eventually attraction will not be the weighing factor. In fact, even an attraction fails because sometimes we grow older and we just get ugly. Attraction won't always be there. We won't always look good. And I think attraction can be a mix of looks. It can be a mix of like some sort of like chemistry, like a personality chemistry. Attraction can also be in the bedroom, like sexually. How are you, like, do you guys enjoy each other in the bedroom? And a lot of times people jump to those things first, like, do they look good? Are they good in the bed? And then they're like, okay, now that they have those things, that I just want them to be my partner. Those aren't the most high priority things. Those are really the light things that are easily broken, that won't stick. And those are, I mean, honestly, like, if they're built up off of having good goals, having good values, having a similar lifestyle, all of those are aligned. And then on top of it, it's a bonus that you have a partner that is hot and is really good in bed. That is just going to be the ultimate package, above all, that it could not fail. It's because you're always going to be attracted to them. And then even if you aren't attracted to them at certain times, like, we don't always feel good about somebody. We don't always think someone looks amazing and hot. We don't always feel like, we did a good job in the bedroom, or we might not always be the nicest to each other. So our personalities might clash at different points. We might not, we have ups and downs, and that's where attraction will always fail if you're based on emotionally attraction, and that's really what it is the attraction part is emotional, and emotions go up and down all the time. So if your relationship's based on emotions only, it'll be a wild ride that you will never be able to stabilize or grow, because it will just be up and down, up and down, up and down. And this is where different toxicity comes out, where people like blame others for things that just like none of it really mattered, because they didn't align anyways. And it doesn't always mean each party's a bad person. It just means that you guys focused on the wrong things, where you guys weren't going to align ever. And that's why it's at the top. That's why it should be at the last of your worries. And I'm not going to say I don't struggle with the same things. It's like, man, that girl's hot. You think about like just trying to talk to her or trying to date her and try to get with her. It's like, oh, I want that girl as my wife. She's hot. I could look that every day. I'd want that in my house. But then you never think, and you might block out all the other things that are actually important about a person, about who they are. Because somebody can be gifted looks, but they have to actually grow character. They actually have to be, in action to do something with their life. Somebody could literally just be a sit there and look pretty girl and do nothing with their life. And if you want that, cool. But most of the time, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, that's not always the best option, and it's not going to help you grow. And I think sometimes you might be able to hit a few of these pillars. And this is also the difference between like an A player, A plus player, and like a C player. And you can also think of this as a partner. It's like you have an A partner and a C partner. Like, where a B or a C is like, oh, it's like almost there. Like, you guys do connect. You guys like have some sort of thing going, but it's very neutral. Like, you could, like, they don't really make you go get better. They don't make you better than you could be on your own. And you don't really make them better as they could be, or you don't really add to their life. You just kind of keep it very neutral. And that's where, things can kind of get, that's where the average relationships tend to be, where it can last for sure. I mean, those will last, and most will, but especially it gets hard when one person just really wants to grow, and it makes it even a bigger bonus when you have somebody there that's actually going to help you grow faster and help you grow better throughout your whole lifetime, because there's just no reason to not have them. There's no reason for two to split if everything's aligned. You guys help each other in every single way. You guys support each other in every single way. Yes, you're going to have fallouts. Yes, you're going to have arguments. But if you two are willing to come together, again, because you guys are having the same aligned goals and values, and there's like probably nobody else that you would rather be aligned with, or you would rather spend time with because you're not aligned as much with them, it becomes much easier to want to work with that person. And there's always going to be really tough moments. So what's going to keep you locked in? What's going to make you want to work for it? And these 4 things are the biggest pillars and are the foundation that you should be always building on. You should be building a foundation strong enough that even if storms came, it's not going to really tear you down. You can build the tallest building, the biggest building, and let's say a fire happened, your whole building did get destroyed. Somebody came over from the outside, because there's always outside influence, out of your control, things that aren't within the relationship that just might happen to come by and try to just ruin your relationship. You're able to have a foundation to build back on top of, and maybe even bigger. Sometimes you might even destroy that tower yourself, and then next time you build it stronger, build it bigger, because you have a strong enough foundation to build off of. And that's what's part of the journey, is like you can go through so much with just one person. You can go through so much with a group of people that are so aligned, and if anything comes at you, anything just destroys you or tries to destroy you, you're able to just rebuild from it. You're able to even get better than you were before. And that's what really becomes the fruit and the joy of the journey, is being able to have these people around you to go to the top, being able to have these people around you to build the life that you always thought of, since you were younger, or that you just wanted to live or work and breathe with. You wanted to share these moments with these types of people, and it's very difficult when you're not aligned, especially values is a huge one and goals are a huge one, because if you guys are going completely separate directions, you're not aligned in goals at all. Like, you have 2 goals pulling each other apart. Like, one goes east, one goes west on a flat plane without the earth, circling. It's like you're never going to meet, ever. You're just never going to meet. And I think that's why I want goals in the bottom, because values you can have similar values. You just might be going completely separate directions. And the farther you try to just go towards what you want, they go towards what they want and they've always wanted, neither of you should give up on your goals. I don't believe in giving up on goals for somebody, because giving up on your personal goals means you're giving up your entire life. And it will start to build resentment. And resentment is the worst, because now you'll start thinking it's their fault why you couldn't actually live a better life, and they'll think the same thing. It's like you guys are just working against each other, instead of when you're partners, you're supposed to be working towards the same thing. You're supposed to be, maybe you take a similar direction, but it's very like separated, and then it comes back together to meet the same goal. That works. But if you never come back to, trying to get to the same spot, even if you hit it at a different angle, you'll always fail, because if you're never aligned to go to the same place, you guys are going to be always working against each other. If I'm trying to go to New York, if we're in the center of the US and I'm trying to go to New York, my partner's trying to go to California, we're going to split. It's like, I'm going this way, you're going that way. You guys are just going to, the distance is just going to get larger and larger as you go on, and that's just what happens in life if you don't have any alignment in your goals. And your values are what keep you true to yourself, keep you true to what you're going to actually focus on, what you want every day, what kind of things you could really not honestly live without. Like, if you're an honest person and someone lies all the time, you're not going to align. Like, you value honesty so much that it'll probably break you each time someone lies, and it'll create a problem. And if to them it doesn't matter, to them they don't care, it's like, well, lying is like whatever, it's just not as much of a value for them, it won't ever work, because they're just living in a different set. And that's what becomes just so strong and so important. And I just wanted to make sure that's super clear. And I'm always going to keep working on this, but I've seen, even for myself, it's like, if I was looking at who I'd want as a partner or who I'd want as friends in my life, it's like, if they could be 100% aligned in all these areas, I don't think anything else really matters. If we're going the same direction, we have this similar values alignment where we can trust each other, and we live similar lifestyles, so we even enjoy, doing the fun things in life. We enjoy traveling. We enjoy going out, riding snowmobiles, riding dirt bikes. We enjoy, a farm. We enjoy a city. We enjoy these similar styles where each person in their own way, you can always see like everybody lives a different style of life. What style is yours? And then you're just attracted to them. Like, can you actually look at them and feel like you want to be around them? Do they have a bad aroma? Like, are they clean? Can you like be around them and enjoy their presence? And all those combined, I don't see any other way. I don't see how, if everything of those were aligned, it would break. Because if it did break, it means one of those wasn't aligned properly. And whether it was part of you not understanding yourself, or you not understanding them, or a mix of them not understanding themselves. And that's what it comes down to. It's like every single thing that you might want or need is the more important part, is within these four. And if there's anything else, please do share. But I think even the ones that you might come up with, like, oh, we can make another section, I think it would fit into one of these. And I'm always open to learning about this. I love trying to get better about this. I've had it in my mind. But yeah, here it is again. So you got your goals, your values. Your goals is like your rock. Your values is very rigid. It's firm. That's why it's squared off. It is there forever. It's for your life. Your lifestyle is, your globe, your circle, your everything, like what you do, what you have fun with. Like, it's very more open. And then your attraction, of course, it's a heart. It's like, where do you feel inside about this person? Like, does this actually get your heart beating? Do you see this person, it gets your heart beating? Do you guys actually like have a sense of care and love for them? And that's why attraction, love is all at the top. It's like, it's very lusty. It can be fleeing, and that's why you never want to just build off of lust. You never want to build off emotion and fleeing energy, because it will end. It will go on to somebody else, and you could probably have that same energy with somebody else. So that's why if you only focused on that, there's no reason you would commit to the one, because you would feel the same way with somebody else. So what's the difference, right? And if there's no difference, it's never going to keep you committed. And so this is more if you actually wanted a committed relationship and a long-term thing. I think most people do, but then I think a lot of people in this world also have a certain lifestyle and way of living, or maybe even certain goals and values that just sometimes they can never really find that it fits with somebody else, or maybe they're even going the bad direction. They're not even aligning themselves with their life, so they're choosing things that they don't really want, that don't really fulfill them. It's just more of the fun that gets them still just doing it until they die. And I think most of life, we're all human. We're very similar creatures. We tend to hang out with each other. We tend to create a sense of community. We create connections. We learn from each other. We help each other. We work with each other. So it's always good to at least have the ones that you're going to spend time with be aligned. If you guys want more videos just like this, or have any comments, please leave them down below, and I'll make sure to keep throwing them right at you. More business and I guess relationship advice now a little bit, but just a mix of things, a lot of things that I just think about and trying to get better. And relationship is a huge one. It's a huge pillar of life itself that can affect every other part. Relationships can affect your finances, your business, how well you perform in any, if you're an athlete, how well you perform as an athlete, how well you perform in your career. It's just, it trickles down to everything else, and then who you hang out with in your career. There's people all around. So relationships is always going to be there, and it could probably be the hardest one to figure out. It's never ending. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.